peace and love, world. Peace and love. You're now rocking to the sounds and vibrations of your boy Malik Kilam, also known as DonKilam.com. And as always, prosperity is your birthright. Much peace and love to the world, man. I hope y'all feeling good today. Happy Sunday. Let's get some knowledge in. Yeah. And as always, if you find this information valuable, you already know what to do. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, share, all that good shit, man. Leave a comment. The Cash App is SecuredPartyCredit, SecuredPartyCredit, SecuredParty Credit, Credit. Or you can just send it to the number directly at 407-274-5161. Again, that's 407-274-5161. You can send me a quick text, and you can do that, Let me know you send a donation or whatever. I do the color law on Mondays. I don't know if I'm doing it tomorrow, but everything's gonna start back to normal on November. Okay, much peace and love, man. Just allowing the notifications to go live and start popping up on people's phones. The Facebook is Ali Malik Kilam Bey. That's A-L-I Malik M-A-L-I-K Kilam K-I-L-A-M Bey B-E-Y. The Instagram is Don_Kilam DON_KILAM. And then the YouTube is DonKilam.com DONKILAMDOTCOM. Much peace and love. And I titled this today, man, Islam, I Self-Law Master. It's about being self-sufficient, especially as a man, or better yet, a Moor. And this doesn't come from anybody. I'm not putting this on anybody's profit. I'm not putting this on profit nobody. I'm putting this all on me. Listen, if you say you practice Islam, you say that you're a Moor. Better yet, if you say that you're a man and you have kids, quit begging people for shit, especially your boy Malik Kilam. Because I ain't got nothing for no beggars. You follow me? Even the Bible says, tell the poor that I am rich. Listen, y'all keep talking about it's my Moorish obligation. Listen, it says Moor. There's nothing ish about it, first and foremost. I'm a Moor. That's what I proclaim. I'm a Moor. Secondly, if I don't know you, you're not my brother. If you're not part of my private family, none of that shit. I don't know you. You got yourself in the jam. Get yourself out. Because if you want my assistance, you want my help, you either watch my videos and take notes and figure that shit out, or you're going to drop your boy a hefty donation. I don't got time to be reading through your bullshit ass emails. Beggars, you beggars, no, my time is valuable. It's only 24 hours in a day. 24 hours in a day! You know how many people I help out already? Do you follow me? I do my own charity work. You better know somebody. Better yet, you better get in tune with who you are. You better get in tune with your God and tell your God to save you. Or you're going to figure out a hustle to go get some bread, rock with your boy, because if you're going to pay an attorney, you're going to pay them, or you're going to pay them crackers with your life. You follow me? Ain't no way around this shit. Ain't nothing free. There's no such thing as handouts, only hand-ups. That's what you need to know. Real shit. So get it together. I come on here, I drop this knowledge for you guys. I drop this knowledge. Shit, I put years in, 17 years of study and research and going through the shit. Do you follow me? Going through the processes, going through the feds, going through the state courts, fighting with these people with my child support issues, fighting with these people with my federal cases, suing these people to get all this information and reading books day in and day out, getting that knowledge in and day out, and helping hundreds of people for free. That's how I got to where I'm at. So there's talking about I owe you something as a Moorish obligation. I don't owe you motherfucking shit. First and foremost, I'm out here giving it to you right now. Be thankful for that before I cut this shit short. Real talk. Then you're going to really need change to holler at me. While you niggas keep hitting me up in my inbox and my motherfucking text messages. You know what I'm saying? Enough is a motherfucking enough. I'm about to cut this shit short. Real shit. Pay a fucking attention. Everything is on the internet. Since you think knowledge is free, take your fucking time, write some fucking notes, and figure the shit out then. Because it is free, and I give it out there. But you got your head too far up your motherfucking ass. It don't make sense to you. Because you don't know who your higher power is. You don't know who you are. That's why you're out here begging and crying, fighting cases, crying over child support, crying over your little ass checks. Because you're not being valuable to humanity. All you worried about is your fucking self. That's it. You ain't worried about helping nobody else out, so why would somebody else help you? You follow me? What goes around comes around. You led yourself to the shit so you can get through the shit, period. Don't ever claim you're a fucking Moor. Don't ever claim, in the name of Islam, don't ever claim being a Muslim or a Muslim if you're not the best at what it is you do. And that includes being a man. Do you hear me? That includes being a father. Do you hear me? Whatever title that has been placed upon you that you carry, you're supposed to be the best at. And if you don't know how to get yourself out the situation, then you better be a goddamn good slave. Now back to the lesson. Real shit, man. Much peace and love. Somebody said they're following UCCs. Listen, if you don't have your name established right with the Secretary of State, there's no way I would be doing a UCC. So don't ever put that on Don Kilam's page. Don't even talk about UCCs. Unless you're coming from a standpoint as a business. You already have a business. Now, to start this day off right, Sunday school. The 10 basic foundations of commercial law. It is from these timeless principles whereby all law and commerce in the world is acquired. And all you people that hit me up talking about, thank you, Don, did this, ain't none of you motherfuckers drop me a donation. Real shit. So you find this information valuable, leave a donation. Cash App, SecuredPartyCredit, 407-274-5161. If you want this information to keep coming to you and let me show you the light, because listen, I don't have shit else to prove. Listen, I've never been to Alaska, Hawaii, motherfucking Puerto Rico 3 times, motherfucking Florida 50 times, California 50 times, Texas 50 times. You know what I'm saying? I done traveled. Who else is out here doing the shit that I'm doing? Who else is out here doing this shit? Nobody. Nobody. I don't have shit to prove to you motherfuckers. So, like I said, I can move on to the commercial world because I can do that shit. Instead, I'm still here, stuck trying to help you motherfuckers out, and y'all don't appreciate it. So leave donations. And if y'all don't start leaving donations, I'm going to cut this shit short because I don't give 2 fucks either way. I do my charity work. I help the people I'm supposed to help. Do you follow me? Much peace and love. And number 1, happy Sunday. There are 10 basic foundations of commercial law. Real shit. I'm going to make it where all y'all have to do is come to my courses. You're going to have to come to my courses. You want this dope. Because ain't nobody giving y'all the knowledge. They're giving y'all the runaround. And now y'all got all this fucking knowledge. Y'all don't know what to fucking do with it. And most of it's fucking useless and garbage. You can't make no money off the shit. Tell me how you can make money off stare decisis cases. Tell me how you guys are making money off UCC codes. You guys are not even understanding what security agreements are. You don't even know when you pay a fucking bill, you're securitizing it. You're becoming an investor. You don't even know how to assess the tax. This shit is so fucking easy once you fucking read a book, the right shit. Learn how to operate in the right political status. Motherfucker said, are you charging for birthrights? How can a motherfucker charge you for your birthrights? Nigga, I'm charging you for my time and my knowledge. The fuck? So you can get clarity. So I can give you clarity. VBS clarity. Do you understand? But you motherfuckers is too far in the mud. Your head's stuck too far up your fucking ass. Trying to get what you can from the next motherfucker. You ain't never gonna get your blessing because you're too busy stripping away other people's blessings. You're not even good for yourself. So how can the universe and humanity be good to you? Because you're poison to your own self. There's some facts for your motherfucking ass today. On the new moon. Number 1, a workman is always worthy of his hire. This is the 10 basic foundations of commercial law. The workman is always worthy of his hire. And stay tuned because I'm breaking down the foundations of commercial law. The foundations of commercial law. Everything is commercial. Everything is commercial. This is why you guys out here talking about you're finding your UCC ones. You don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You don't even know what you're doing. And they're giving you all bullshit ass information. Because when you find it from a trust standpoint or a sole proprietorship standpoint, that's not even how the shit works. That is not how it works. So a workman is always worthy of his hire. This is perhaps the most universal law of mankind. Every society on the earth who has denied this maxim of law has suffered wrath and destruction by the masses. In tulus labor, et sign fructu non est effectus legis. This is useless labor and without fruit. It is not the effects of law. All men are considered equal under the law. That's number 2. All men are considered equal under the law. While this may not be practiced throughout the world, the underlying truth of this standard has caused great empires to fall and destroyed many kings and monarchs. Number 3, in all interchange, truth is sovereign and the supreme rule. Interchange of every kind, from goods to intellect, between men and commerce. In all commerce, the allodial and supreme rule is truth. The law never suffers anything contrary to truth. We can do nothing against truth. You follow me? We can do nothing against truth. The truth never changes. Anything else is falsehood. See, a fact can never enter a courtroom, but there is a difference between truth and facts. Because just because it's a fact doesn't mean it's the truth, because time can be a fact, right? Don't mean it's the truth. Number 4, truth can be expressed in the form of a legal affidavit. From medieval Latin origin, affidavit means he has pledged his faith, akin to the word affiant from the Middle French affir, to pledge, faith, swear. Formal, legalis, forma, as to tialis. Legal form is essential form. Number 5, a legal affidavit is undisputed truth unless a counter affidavit or rebuttal has been made. So an affidavit is truth unless a counter or a rebuttal has been made. It's going to stand as, well, that's number 6. So since the affidavit is sworn and pledged by faith, it is presumed to be absolute truth unless another sworn claim counters it in rebuttal. Number 6, an undisputed affidavit or claim becomes final judgment. So when an affidavit becomes undisputed, it becomes final judgment in commerce. So when one fails to answer or refute an affidavit or claim made against him or her, the affidavit first presented is considered absolute in truth. By not rebuting what has been claimed against him, one becomes guilty by his silence. It is the same thing not to exist and not to appear. He who is silent appears to consent. Number 7, all matters must be expressed in order to be resolved. And that should be pretty much common sense. For a matter to be resolved, it must be expressed. It must be expressed. It must be expressed. It must be expressed. No claim can be made against another unless an affidavit has been presented stating the reasons of law supporting the claim along with the events of the interchange. Number 8, the party who leads the dispute first also loses by default. So the one who leads the battlefield first loses. If one walks away from a claim or dispute in commerce, either by silence in default or failure to properly rebuke, he becomes an instant loser. Every consent removes error. Number 9, one must be damaged in some way to make a claim or charge against another. So damages in commerce are always equitable, and a loss of equity must be shown in order to make a claim. In commerce, all things have a commercial value, including intellectual property. An action is not given to him who has received no damages. Number 10, a lien or claim can be satisfied only by award of a counter affidavit, resolution by a jury, or payment in satisfaction. A commercial claim must be resolved by a rebuttal, a jury, or relief to the claim by payment for damages. An award is a judgment. All right, man. I'm about to break some real stuff down, man. So get ready, take notes. So you ought to know with whom you deal. What are you specifically dealing with? And here's how the laws of commerce are used against the common man and just who is behind it. Much has been written and documented concerning the continuing bankruptcy of the United States federal government. Reference to this has been codified into federal law as a basis for what you are now going to learn. While the world power brokers may not be known by name, this makes no significant difference for the purpose of this material being presented here. The fact remains that the corporate U.S. is in Washington, D.C., and it is bankrupt. And it has declared this in the federal codes. The unknown world power brokers are the creditors. Much of this will become clearer as you continue to study. The supreme affiant, or the one ultimately behind an affidavit of claim, is known in law as the real party of interest, the RPOI, the real party of interest, all right? A real party of interest is entitled under applicable substantive law to enforce the right sued upon or possesses legal rights to enforce a claim. The real party of interest is an actual person. For simplicity, understand that the real party of interest is one of the select few world power brokers. We got Travis Jones in the building. Says motivation. Peace and love, Travis. Peace and love, King. So, the real party interest behind the U.S. bankruptcy world government and the new emerging third way successor to the New World Order, all right, are unknown to the common man. What is important to retain is this juncture is the method used by the world power brokers to collect the purported claims against you. A real party interest is a front, all right? In layman's terms, this is called a straw man. This straw man is a collector for the lien holder, okay? And collects claims on behalf of the liener and the creditor. Certain representatives and agents, including administrators and trustees, are also considered real party interests. A real party interest can be the state of, like the state of Georgia, or any United States agency. Their duty is to collect debts for the real party of interest from the commercial chattel property that has a lien placed against it by a claim. Debts follow the person of the debtor. You have to understand, the state is considered your trustee and is truly such as a holding company. It acts as a holding company, okay? Concepts of modern law will further explain how the real party interests operate and how the commercial law enforces their claims. The Uniform Commercial Code is the supreme law of the world and other nation states. Their codes and laws mirror the principles of the UCC. The United Nations base their codes and rules on the Uniform Commercial Code. And we're not talking about the UCC one. We're talking about the Uniform Commercial Code. Okay? The United Nations base their codes and rules on the UCC. There is no major world power that has not codified the standards of the UCC into the national laws. While we have previously written much about the truth of Christian common laws, these are not the laws of the world system. It's time for everybody to realize that the new common law of the earth is commercial law, also known as the law merchant. While God's law cannot be erased, it has been subdued and slowly replaced by a legal common commercial code. This has come about as a result of complacency and ignorance on the part of good and lawful people. Time run against the slothful and those who neglect their rights. We have allowed it to happen and have even blindly supported it. You must deal with the source of the earth's law in order to find the solutions. Those who expect to be both ignorant and free are expecting something which never has and never will exist. All right? Much peace and love. Everybody joining me, man. Everybody that's joining me, much peace and love. And interstate commerce and individual movement dramatically increased in the U.S. after 1865. The world power brokers felt a need for greater uniformity of their law, an approach known by the common name Uniform state laws was founded to seek adoption of identical or similar laws to be utilized by the federalized states. The National Conference of Commissioners on Uniform State Laws was formed in 1892 upon the recommendation of the American Bar Association for the purpose of promoting uniformity in state laws on all subjects where uniformity is deemed desirable and practicable. Made up of all American Bar Associate lawyers chosen by the federal states, the conference still oversees the preparation of proposed law. Uniform laws which the states are encouraged to adopt. For over a century, this process has been carried out through selective ABA committees that prepare drafts for review and ultimate approval by the full conference, and has continued to function. To date, the commissioners have approved more than 200 uniform laws. Most have been widely adopted by the federalized states and have, as a consequence, initiated uniform federal law throughout the states. Now, some states you can find codified UCC codes, or you can find them in Florida. They're called commercial relations. New Jersey, they're called statutes and commercial transactions. In California, they're under commercial law and the statutes. So, in the process of thought, man has the ability to convert many abstracts into a single concept. It's like you got multiple people, it's still called the temple or the church. Much peace and love, much peace and love. Now, so what is a corporation? A corporation is a group of beings who have formed together under statute law to become as if they were only one being, okay? Physically, this is impossible. But, conceptually, within the mind, this is the same as a child's imaginary friend. The same applies to a limited partnership or a limited liability company. In reality, a corporation, trust, limited partnership, and government are mere imaginary beings. The legal term for this is artificial entity or fictitious being, all right? The persona and mask. What becomes a danger is when man begins to accept that which is not physically real as if it is real. When a single artificial being is treated as reality, the legal result is a fictitious entity. The modern and commercial laws call this fictitious being a person. In the common man's understanding, a person is real and can be touched, such as a person at the grocery store who works as a cashier. However, in modern law, a person can be real or artificial. This is an example of why we keep stressing the fact that you must look up each and every word in a law dictionary in order to understand the definitions as they apply to commercial law and all modern law. Legally, a person can be a real physical being or a corporation. Person, an entity with legal rights, an existence including the ability to sue and be sued, to sign contracts, to receive gifts, to appear in court, either by themselves or by lawyers, and generally other powers incidental to the full expression of the entity in law. Individuals are persons in law unless they are minors or under some type of incapacity, such as a court finding a mental incapacity. Many laws give certain powers to persons, which in almost all instances include business organizations that have been formally registered, such as partnerships, corporations, or associations. So, and that's under Duhame's Law Dictionary. So you need to understand, your name, regardless, is going to be a business when you're operating in commerce. If you have a name attached to a social security number, that's a sole proprietorship. You're operating as a business. Artificial person, a legal person. That's in Webster's. And that's who you are. That's what your name is. It's considered a legal person, and you're acting on behalf of this legal organization. Another legal name for a fictitious entity is persona. The word persona is Latin word signifying a mask used by actors on the stage. While the real beings exist physically, the persona is an artificial face or mask. It is not a reality. It covers the real being with an artificial being, the same as mask covers your face. This is like a great big play. This is why it's called court. It's all a game. You got to learn how to control your sacred reality. It's like real life magic. So when you learn how to start creating spells out here in your life, some real Harry Potter shit, you can create on the paper and you can create in your reality when you're walking in the courtroom so you can control your sacred realm. This is why I tell you motherfuckers, you need to know your higher power. You need to have a relationship with your higher self. Because if you have a relationship with your higher self, you know how to shine the light on the darkness. You in tune with your intuition. That's how I know you ain't doing no self-study. You know, prayer is asking your higher power for something, and meditations is how you receive the answers. So you got to have that relationship with yourself first. Say it again, you have to have a relationship with yourself first. Or how can you play this game out here? If you're not learning how to play this game, you're on somebody else's game. You're on somebody else's frequency. You're playing somebody else's program. Do you understand? So if Susie down the street, you keep chasing her skirt and she don't know shit, guess what? Birds of a feather flock together. You ain't about to know shit neither. You only about to know what Susie knows. Do you understand? You need to get in tune with your spirit. Something keeps waking you up every day. You understand? The same source that wakes you up every day is the same source that creates galaxies and planets. The same source that makes the sun rise every day. The same source that keeps the moon shining. Do you understand? Understand who you are, baby. Since this artificial persona is not you, the man or the woman, born of the spirit of the Most High, we must be able to prove which is our real being and which is our persona. The simplest way to tell the difference legally is via the use of all capitalized letters, which signifies the persona. All right? While some may say that capitalization of a name makes no difference in all languages, in this world is not grammatically correct. According to the rules of English grammar, it signifies nothing. Your physical and real being is named first letter, capital. That's it. Your legal and artificial persona is named the all capitalized name. It does make a difference legally. How is your name spelled on your driver's license or credit card? In all capital letters, or is it spelled out grammatically? So there is a difference. So, when you break down the word government, government means to control, mint means mine, all right? So, every government, be it federal, state, or county, is an artificial entity. It's an artificial person, okay? It's not a republic for which it stands. Follow me? It's an artificial entity. Because of this, governments can only legally interact with their own like and kind, which is other artificial people or persons. All crimes are commercial. They can only operate, governments and corporations can only operate with each other, okay? They can only operate with fictitious entities. Gotta know this. This is why when most of you people file these UCCs, they're not gonna recognize them. They're not gonna recognize half the shit you send in because you didn't update your status correctly on the public side and the private side. If you're going to send them paperwork, you got to make sure your status is corrected properly on the public side as well. And then there's administrative remedies. There's still rules to this shit, all right? You know you got to assess the tax. You know, once you create your business, your name as a business on the public side, then you got to assess the tax. Do you follow me? Now, when the so-called person violates a rule or a statute, such as a traffic infraction, the real you is expected to appear at an arraignment and admit to the straw man's name. This is why at the beginning of an arraignment or any court proceeding, your name is called and you're required to answer. The name they are calling is your persona, but like sheep gone to slaughter, we answer to this request, even though we are not whom they are calling. If you were to answer in your appellation, spelling it out in upper and lowercase letters, then you have broken the contract tie they attempted to establish between the real being and the artificial person. They can only deal with the artificial, not the real person, not the nationalized person. You follow me? They can only deal with the artificial person, not the nationalized person. Governments cannot legally, as set forth by their own laws, involve themselves with anything but other artificial entities. The persona, all right? This is why it's important that you have a persona. This is why it's important. You know, I got multiple personas because I overstand them. I overstand the game. But I can prove my identity. I keep my fee schedule with me. I keep a certificate of identity. And then I keep my name. My name is an LLC. My name is an actual holding company and trust administration. This is what I do. State of Missouri. And then on the private side, I got my own political status, which nationalizes me. It's 22 pages. Follow me? And we got our own security agreements. Hey, peace and love, peace and love. Peace and love. You hear me? Somebody asked to join the video. I was gonna talk to him. Shit. Now, governments cannot legally, as set forth by their own law, involve themselves with anything but artificial entities, and the commercial law contracts entered into between them. This is why it's a necessity by their legal rules and process to use capital letters in all names, including their own. They must address the entity, not the real man or woman. Governments can only act against the artificial person that they have created. It's that simple. The real you, a man or a woman, can have a claim made against him by a government based on the presumption that you have voluntarily, knowingly, and intentionally contracted to be identified with and by your persona. The persona is not really you, but rather an artificial person owned by the government to which you have united with. This is why you have to break forth these contracts. The world power brokers who own fully know the workings and utilize their laws to pilfer, conquer, subrogate, and lay claim to all those on the earth invoke a very similar and basic principle of law to accomplish this. An undisputed affidavit of claim stands as truth in commerce. It makes no difference if their claim is unlawful, immoral, or illegal, unless you, not someone else, speak out against their claim with an affidavit of rebuttal. Their affidavit of claim against you is considered undeniable truth in all law and commerce. No ABA bar attorney can speak for you. You must speak for yourself, but not rebuting and remaining silent. You have legally defaulted, and they can claim all they want against you. Anyone who does not speak up for his rights has none. The worst thing you could do is remain silent. The next worst thing you could do is agree to the implied and presumed contract. This is done through the real man's acceptance of benefit and privileges granted by you. The legal terminology for this ratification by act of consent: when the real man accepts a driver's license in the name of the persona in all capitalized letters, he has ratified the presumed contract between the real person, the physical being, and the real party in interest, who uses the state as his real party in interest to collect his claims via the straw man. The same applies to acceptance of unemployment insurance, Social Security benefits, welfare, food stamps. When you contract for benefits, privileges, license, permits, etc., you are bound by commercial contract to the obligations that are attached to them. He who enjoys the benefits ought also to bear the burden. He who enjoys the advantage of a right takes the accompanied disadvantage. A privilege is subject to its condition or conditions. All commerce law and interaction between men is contract. From this implied and presumed contract with your persona, every action by government or their agents is founded. In accordance with the UCC restatement at 110, the parties may now enter into a binding agreement without signing a formal written document. What you must now learn is the legalities of this presumed contract and how to rebuke it. So this would be a verbal contract, and it's valid via UCC 110. The birth certificate. First, you must know exactly what is considered to be the key element within the presumed contract. A real party in interest is a party for the is the party for the straw man. In layman's terms, this is called a straw man. Okay, so specifically, the straw man is the collector for the liener and collects claims on behalf of the lien creditor. Certain representatives and agents, including administration trustees, are also considered this. So you have to understand this. We're going to go to part 2, man. There's more to this, man. I got a lot. I got a lot on this. I got like 3 parts. I even got bonding codes, man. Might go over that with you one day. So, within the presumed contract that holds title and ownership to a real man's labor, rights, intellect, and property through the persona, this foundational element is legally called an instrument, but you know it as your birth certificate. Since the early 1960s, birth certificates were issued by the governments to create a persona with all capitalized letter names. This is not a lawful record of your physical birth, but something totally different. A birth certificate is the government's commercial instrument to the legal title of ownership or deed to your straw man. Don't forget that the presumption is contract. It is that the real you and your persona are one and the same. The commercial record or commercial instrument, birth certificate, is a legal commercial receipt. It is no different than any other commercial bill of lading or warehouse receipt. Delivery of the commercial goods was made to the government at your local hospital. For clarity, view a birth certificate as a commercial document of title. While this document of title is not the title itself, it is parallel to a commercial certificate of title or a certificate of birth. UCC 1-201. Documents of title include bill of lading, dock warrant, dock receipt, warehouse receipt, or order for the delivery of goods, and also any other document which is the regular course of business or financing, which is treated as adequately evidencing that the person in possession of it is entitled to receive, hold, and dispose of the document and the goods it covers. Bill of lading means a document evidencing the receipt of goods for shipment issued by a person engaged in the business of transporting or forwarding goods, a hospital for example. It includes an air bill. The U.S. corporate federal government is bankrupt and holds no constitutional mandated silver or gold, coin and bullion, to back up or pay their debts. All privately held and federally held gold coins and bullions in America was seized by executive order of April 5, 1933 and paid to the creditor, the private Federal Reserve Bank Corporation, under the terms of bankruptcy. Then in 1964, coins with no silver content were issued and the constitutional silver coins were recalled and seized. Further evidence of this was the shortage of industrial silver and bullion from the mid-1960s to the mid-1970s. The small inventories of silver available during this period was expensive. The only asset the federal U.S. government has in order to pay their corporate debts is the people themselves, so they commercially pledge birthright Americans as collateral for credit and loans to pay daily operational costs. The technical way this is done is astoundingly simple but relatively unknown. When a child is born within the corporate United States, a record of live birth form, a commercial bill of lading. Again, a commercial bill of lading. This is the birth certificate, okay? Commercial bill of lading. It's issued by the hospital. The father and mother sign this hospital form. A receipt for goods as the parents, a pair who rents, manufacturer, and title holders, owners of the goods, the child, the transfer of the property rights, the child's rights, to the state licensed physician. The parents have unknowingly pledged their child's future and labors to the government and signed a presumed contract. This converts the legal status of their child to that of property in permanent indentured servitude. The state becomes the de facto holder of the rights of the child as collateral. Next, the hospital sends the records of live birth to the State Bureau of Vital Statistics, sometimes called the Department of Health and Rehabilitative Services, the HRS, in some states. Each state is required to supply the federal government with birth, death, and health statistics. The state agency that receives the regular live birth title keeps it and then issues a birth certificate. The birth certificate is a commercial instrument, the document evidencing that the state is holding the title and ownership to the child. Holding the title is not the same as having possession of the property, so the state is the holder of the instrument. So this makes it a holding company, but not the holder in due course. This is all based on the presumed acceptance of the contract, regular live birth, between the manufactured parents and the purchaser's state. The parents are not aware of this assumed contract because it was never revealed to them, nor was full disclosure made in good faith, so that they don't object to that they don't know. The current holder of your commercial birth document receipt is able to capitalize on it because of your failure to instruct them to the holder to do otherwise, due to your silence and lack of legal action. Certificate. What birth certificate means is title of ownership, evidence in ownership or debt. Yeah, man, I'm just going to go over there for now, man. And understand this. Understand this. So now, when you file the birth certificate, you got your ID, your Social Security card. Social Security Administration is the trust. Look up the bankruptcy. That's what they owe the people, $21 trillion. So, anytime you get a house, a car, you're making the state the holder of it when you register it. And now you're just holding on to the property and you're paying them to hold on to it. It's like renting. And that's what you're doing with your kid. You're renting out your kid, but you give them the rights. You know, you put it in the trust. So this is the same thing with a mortgage or when you get a house or something. You know, when you get a house, when you register the house in the trust correctly, the trust owns the beneficial interest of the house, but you hold on to it physically. So you have to start understanding how to operate in the imaginary realm. All right? You got to learn how to operate in the fictitious realm. This is why they do everything to close your mind down so you can't be creative. So you can't think outside the boxes. All right? Learn how to stand on your square. Understand that prosperity is your birthright. You find this information valuable. Leave a donation, 407-274-5161. Again, that's 407-274-5161. Leave a donation on the Cash App. Much peace and love. Reach out, man. I got classes coming up December and January. All members are going to have access to all those classes. We're going to be doing foreclosure classes, status correction classes, trust classes. And I'm even going to teach you how to start making money, man, online, because that's what it's about. You got to learn how to build that wealth. Learn how to build these assets and then protect them and hand them down to your future generations to come. With that, I'm out. Much peace and love. Prosperity is your birthright.